If anyone would like to ask questions to any of the speakers, you can please ask. Can you please send the mic?
I am Rajiv Thakur from Fortran Steel. We are into MSME, and after hearing from the panels, we are also thinking about the IPO. So in that regard, I just wanted to know that the board members, if besides the promoter and the owner or their family, if they have that technically competent people or techno-commercial people on the board, will it help in having the IPO floated in the market?
Sir, who are you addressing the question to?
I'm Rajiv Thakur. I'm president in the company.
Who are you addressing it to? Whom?
I'm addressing to the panel.
I
This
can
question, whosoever has spoken about the IPO.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'd like to take that. तो इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं और मैं बोलूँगा कि जब आप अगर आईपीओ के लिए जाने की सोच रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली आपको एक इंडिपेंडेंट बोर्ड के बारे में सोचना चाहिए. लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट भी है दैट यू नीड टू हैव सम मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स, बट दे आर एक्चुअली वेरी हेल्पफुल टू यू. टू गिव आवर एग्जाम्पल, वी हैव 5 independent directors. One of them is the ex-MD of Tata Steel. One of them is an ex-women IS officer related to steel. One of them is the ex-ED of corporation bank, so from the banking side. And one of them is a chartered accountant related to capital markets. So one of them from the capital market side. तो ऐसे हमने हमारे बोर्ड को फॉर्म किया है अपार्ट फ्रॉम आस प्रमोटर्स. अब क्या होता है कि कोई भी बोर्ड मीटिंग होती है, आप एक बार अगर लिस्टेड होने वाले हैं या फिर लिस्टेड हो जाते हैं तो उसके बाद में जो डिसीजन मेकिंग होती है वो बोर्ड के अंदर होती है और वो ऑफिशियल ऑल ऑफ दोज डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर एक्चुअली अपलोडेड ऑन द BSN NSE वेबसाइट. तो वहाँ पे इतने सीनियर एक्सपीरियंस्ड और वेरीड लोगों का होना आपकी कंपनी के लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल होता है. आइडियली इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स जो कि मतलब एक जो सोच है कि भाई ये क्यों होने चाहिए कंपनी के अंदर, वो इसलिए कि भाई प्रमोटर्स खुद ही इस तरीके का डिसीजन ना ले लें कि कंपनी के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत हो जाए. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि अगर आप इंडिपेंडेंट बोर्ड लेकर आते हैं तो आप आपकी मर्जी का कुछ नहीं कर सकते. ऑब्वियसली यू कैन हैव अ मेजॉरिटी, सो यू कैन टेक ऑल ऑफ द डिसीजंस दैट यू वांट, बट दे एक्चुअली हेल्प यू एंड एडवाइज यू ऑफ how and what ways should you take the best decisions on. That's why the independent board is to be there and should be there in an IPO bound or an listed company.
Mike. Mic over there.
My questions to Ranjan Jhaji.
Yes, before the IPO also it would be helpful to have a board, because जब आप IPO के लिए जा रहे हैं, जब आप आपके पेपर्स देंगे तो उसके अंदर अगर आपने आपके बोर्ड के बारे में दे रखा है एंड इट हैज़ अ गुड क्रेडेंशियल, तो मार्केट उसको बहुत बहुत पॉजिटिवली देखता है. That's why you should have it before the IPO as well, my recommendation.
Yeah, my question is to Mr. Ranjan Jha. Seeing the IPO markets and all, do you think is any time going down? And my second question is that for steel industries, since it's going to be on a good track record compared to other markets where the uncertainty of consumption is there, steel is going to be a good consumable item in the foreseeable future. So my question is, P's should be increasing further and profits are going to increase because it's going to be a consumable item. Right. So my particular question is, steel is still a very low PE in the IPO business. Do you seeing it growing further? Thank you.
Yeah. So this was coming to our mind, and we discussed among the panelists before, like low PE thing. It's not about low PE. We determine it because there is some mathematics or some calculation. If it is generalized or just steel manufacturing, then obviously we determine through the listed company, listed peers of yours. So that is how it works. And then we get the question, suppose this listed peer says 15 multiple, 20 multiple. So that we need to understand that listed company is performing or being at listed space from last 10 years, 5 years, or maybe 15 years. So they have seen up and downs. They have showcased their track record at listed space. So obviously, they garnered that sort of
if anyone
multiple.
would like to have it. High tea and snacks are served at the lunch room only. If anyone would want to want that, please proceed towards them. Please continue the session, sorry.
Yeah. So I will give you example of, because as a promoter, we always think कि ये हमारी entry, first level entry है, to the capital market. So that time to thinking for high P or so the P, what we are getting and across the sector, that we should accept and get into that exchange, that platform, perform there, 2 साल 3 साल perform कीजिए आप, आपने जो बोला उस commitment पे उतरिए आप. मैं बोलता हूँ 100% कोई नहीं उतर सकता, आपने over perform किया, it's very good. If you meet 80% what you have committed, then also I'm telling you there are another rounds also, FPO है, कई सारे private placements होते हैं, जो इन्होंने भी देखा है, तो आप एक ऐसे multiple पे लेके जाइए और सिर्फ यही नहीं है, growth ही नहीं, you try some value addition into your business. एक traditional business से हटके अगर आपके steel में कुछ, जैसे मान लीजिए, I'm not the right person, but yes, आप सबसे better judge हो, exports में अगर कुछ बढ़ा सकते हैं, मतलब जहाँ पे margins better हो, कुछ additional मतलब जो USPs जिसमें हो आपके product में वो अगर कर सकते हैं, तो that always claim some good P multiple in due course of time. But
hello, my question is to Mr.
I
Rahul Sharma
have a
ji.
follow-on answer to that, or follow-on some comments to that. The steel industry, and for that matter, every material industry, is much lower PE compared to many industries like Zomato or like Amazon or whatever. Cement is 15, 18, steel is 7, 8. There is no, I mean, as a steel industrialist, we think we do a lot of work, and therefore the PE doesn't match with the risk that we take. It is because of the risky nature of our business, we say that it's going to go up because the market is going up, demand is going up, but it's not only that, it's also the cyclical part of it where the pricing goes down. So steel industry, the PE is going to be low compared to many other industries. That's something which all of us, and I'm sure you'll agree, have to live with. I suggest and request all the financiers in the panel and on the room to read a book called The Material World, The 6 Raw Materials That Shape Modern Civilization by Ed Conway. It shows how important these materials are, whether it is copper, whether it is sand. We talked about silicon some time back. You cannot make silicon chips. There's no Silicon Valley without sand. There's no wire without copper. There's no electricity, but none of us respect that. None of the investing world respects that. So I think they should all be looking at that in a very, very strong way. And we as industrialists can try to increase our working. We can try to reduce our risk-free capacity. But the investors and you as the pathway to the investors have to play a very major role to accept that it is undervalued, as in principle it is undervalued.
Thank you. This would be our last question
Hello.
for the session.
I'm Satya Kalva from HK Enterprise and Sons, Bhavnagar. My question is to Mr. Rahul Sharma ji. Sir, what is actually invoice financing? How many types of it is it? And what is the rate of difference between yours and the bank, the normal cross? And what is the time duration in which you provide it? So please can you brief on it, sir?
So on the buyer side, supplier side?
So buyer side, supplier side, sorry, supplier side. The person, I'm purchasing the material from them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So in normal terms, it is called channel finance if we have a tie-up with that corporate. If we do not have a tie-up, we call it a purchase invoice discounting, basically. So, or you can call it buyer's finance, whatever you call it. At the end of the day, the thing is that you get to have a drawdown limit for purchase of raw material or finished good. Okay. So these are different names, but at the same time, they are all working capital requirement limits. Okay, there's a drawdown as there is in CC, same way, and you can very well take any of these. Depends on where you are buying from. Okay, that is something that if you have a specific product, then I can guide you for that specific limit. Scrap.
Yeah.
So buying, purchasing scrap. I'm only talking of inbound trade, India trade, that is. So we can have a purchase invoice discounting, wherein you buy something as you in Bhavnagar, you might buy it from Alang. Okay, some big traders from Alang who are supplying scrap. So you can have a limit of 3, 4, 5 crores. And we'll call it purchase invoice discounting, PID. We can very well do that.
How much time and what is the rate of difference, rate of interest difference between the bank and yours?
So the thing is that in Tata Capital, most of the small loans up till 5 crores are digitalized. So end to end, if we work in tandem, I ask you for some documents, you give it back immediately. So end to end, even in 7 days max, we can fund the customer. That is you in this case. So we can very well do that. Rate of interest, of course, it's a relative term. I would not say that I can quote you right away, but it depends upon your financials and the kind of quantum that we are looking at.
If the documents that I provide you is up to your mark, then how much is the rate of difference? Means is it more than the bank or less than the bank?
Definitely more than bank. Definitely.
How much comparatively?
1.5%. That is what you're looking at. देखिए, जो rate है, rate is always risk per se. The kind of risk that a financer is taking, rate will always be defined by that. Rate of interest will always be defined like that. So it might vary when it is a CC, it might vary when it is a channel finance, it might vary when it's a purchase invoice discounting. It depends.
Sir, we can have deeper discussions off stage, please.
Thank
I
you.
think we need to start the next session.